Hello and welcome back to CBR MTG. My name is Angus Mackay. I'm joined here by Jake Sims
Hey guys.
and new guest Aaron Cornish.
Hello.
Now we brought you Aaron because we want to talk about Lantern.
Yeah.
This is a deck equally loved and hated by 50-50, I believe. There's a lot of, well, maybe like 80 in favor of hating Lantern.
95.
But I do know the people that love Lantern, love it to bits. Can you give me a basic rundown of what Lantern is and how you play it?
Pretty much it is 60 cards of make your opponent hate you.
Mm-hmm.
The main strategy is to lock them out of the game and then mill them until they concede. That's the deck.
But it's not your average mill deck.
No. So it runs around two millstones, I guess you could call, or three. Codex Shredder, Ghoul Caller's Bell, and Pyxis of Pandemonium.
Mm-hmm.
The Codex Shredder is a targeted removal, and the Pyxis of Pandemonium and the Ghoul Caller's Bell are each player.
Okay.
And yeah.
And so basically, but they call it control because you're basically milling your opponent one card at a time and using the card Lantern of Insight, which is the deck's namesake, to always see what's on top of your opponent's library. So it's actually a very fast deck. You pretty much lock the game in 4 turns.
4 turns is the average, I've found.
But then people, out of spite, just won't concede.
Yeah.
Hence the very, very nice playmat that says you can concede at any time.
You're welcome, opponents.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
And on the other side, we have Wufeng on Red Black Burn. This is also a kind of spicy new take on regular burn. This list is actually taking advantage of the Hour of Devastation's Claim to Fame, a split card which allows you to get for 1 black mana, you can get a creature card with converted mana cost 2 or less from the graveyard to the battlefield. And then Fame is the Aftermath card, which means that you can cast it from its graveyard, and it gives your creature, gives target creature +1/+0 and haste until end of turn. Now this is super relevant because it combos with Vexing Devil, which is a 1 mana 4/3.
Yes.
Which says your opponent can pay 4 life and you will sacrifice Vexing Devil. So you basically go Vexing Devil, your opponent says, no, I'll take 4 damage, and then go claim, and then they have to put Vexing Devil back on the battlefield, and then they have to decide again whether or not they're going to take 4 life. And then if they don't, because it's like a kind of mental thing as well, right? You're like, oh, I already took 4 damage, like I don't want to take another 4 damage. And you just start beating face with a 1 mana 4/3, you know? This is like insane synergy that you get from this 2 cards. Like for a burn deck to have a 2 card combo that deals 8 damage is like a dream.
What is the card that stands out most to you against Bone deck? Ensnaring Bridge doesn't turn them off completely, but I'm just trying to think what is the key lock piece that will help you out here.
In the main board, hopes, dreams, and prayers. I don't think this. You can run the Ensnaring Bridge down and hopefully get the lock before they do something relevant like bolt you in the face. And then if you can assemble all of those pieces, you can mill them past relevant things, let them have creatures because they don't scare you anymore.
Yeah.
But when they unload their hand like that,
Yeah.
the Ensnaring Bridge looks less scary.
Yes. This is quite a substantial attack. It's Skullcrack plus the prowess trigger from Monastery Mentor and a Goblin Guard. So that is, 4, 5, 6, 7 total damage coming your way. Yeah, not good.
Yeah, we weren't happy.
Yeah, it definitely gets a lot easier, like post board, but basically, like once you stick those 1 or 2 lock pieces, depending on what deck you're versing, like it's usually fine. You usually lock them out of the game, but because Wufeng is able to go directly under you, and also like you milling him for 1 each turn doesn't really do that much against burn because all spells are lightning bolt.
Yes.
So milling 3 lightning bolts isn't that great. We're seeing on your side, this is sort of a crucial turn for you to try and stabilize if you can. I mean, if you can get the Ensnaring Bridge out and also lose 4 cards from your hand, you might be fine. We see the Pithing Needle there and the Ensnaring Bridge, so I think you just might be out of luck in this instance.
Yeah.
But we'll see what happens. It's now
Yes,
this
Thought
Thought
Seize
Seize
on
is
top.
not what you want to see here.
yeah, that's a terrible spell for you.
What I was trying to do at this point was, because it's not a typical burn list, I could see the typical burn things. I was trying to get as much information as possible whilst knowing we were going immediately to game 2.
Good call.
I like this.
Yeah, that.
Yeah, I mean, you're definitely dead on board, but it's like this is kind of a different list to what because you played red white burn as well.
Yeah, that's my love child.
Yeah, so it's good to kind of see like what differences there are. And for those of you at home who hasn't seen this list before, it's kind of stock standard for the most part as far as mono red burn, like the mono red burn cards go, but it is playing the Claim to Fames as we mentioned before. Also, a Bump in the Night, which is a 1 black mana, and here you are scooping after just having a good look through the deck. Very good strategy on your part, by the way, like just absolutely just getting that look through. But it's playing a Bump in the Night, which is a 1 black mana, sorcery speed, target opponent loses 3 life, but it has flashback for 5 and red. So, I mean, it's a lightning bolt in black, so like you may as well play it, but...
Innistrad was good times.
Yeah, that's right. We're seeing... Possibly, we saw Wufeng just thumb to the front 3. I can't remember the shattering. One of the shattering cards trying to basically.
Shattering Spree, was it?
No, but that's okay. Just trying to get rid of those artifacts on the battlefield. He knows that there's going to be if things go wrong for him. Basically, if things go right for him, he won't see nearly any artifacts. But if things go wrong and he's still playing this game after turn 5, then he'll just need to be able to get those artifact-based hate pieces out of the way.
I boarded in 2 Leyline of Sanctity, 2 Spell Skites, and an Abrupt Decay.
Mm-hmm.
Since doing this matchup, my sideboard has improved with 3 Leylines of Sanctity.
The 2 of Leyline of Sanctity is, it was a 2 of at this point?
Yeah, 2 of at this point.
2 of at this point is like kind of weird, but I guess if you're... like you're probably the deck that can that loses the least from having to cast a Leyline of Sanctity on turn 4 instead of having it in your opening hand. So I can totally justify that. Yeah. Also, I have once beaten an opponent because I had a Leyline of Sanctity in their hand and they could not cast it, so I was able to swing under the Ensnaring Bridge. Now we're seeing you bring in those, and I think I saw you take out a couple of Pithing Needles and a Sorcerer's Spyglass.
Yes.
How have you seen Sorcerer's Spyglass compared to Pithing Needle?
I love the card. Being able to look at your opponent's hand before choosing a name is really helpful, especially on turn 2 and they've only played a land, they haven't done anything else. Naming in the dark has been painful with Pithing Needles. Sometimes trying to bait out an opponent by them playing a fetch land, then you playing a Pithing Needle and having them crack the fetch to then surgical the fetch to get a name it's a very extended line just to work out what's going on.
Yeah, I can imagine there's like an extra weird level of skill involved with having surgicals in your main deck. Like it's basically mill your opponent for 3 cards, but it also like get rid of trouble permanent, which can be hugely beneficial, especially when you're working off the top of your opponent's library and putting stuff in their graveyard willy-nilly. Like seems like a great include in the main deck, but then you also get these sort of fringe benefits, like whenever you're versing a graveyard deck, you just like probably breathe a sigh of relief. Like, hey, I got my sideboard cards in the main deck, this is going to be pretty good.
I saw Wufeng palm a number of Hush Mentors to the front, which seems very good against lane control. Just being able to every activation of Ghoul Caller's Bell, of the of your Millstones, everything like that just seems so good.
Yeah, we are seeing. Sorry, the card that I was referencing before was Smash to Smithereens. So the important thing is, yes, we did get there in the end.
Yeah, we got the all-important Leyline pre-game action. That
Yes.
felt awesome.
I bet you feel good about that. And also, like, a capable hand as well. I think one of the bad things about these turn zero effects is that you're more inclined to keep a shitty hand if you have that in there. So
Oh,
it's
that's
lucky
nice
that-
if you're helping him out there.
Yeah. A lot of people forget.
Is Vexing Devil target opponent? Like, you
I
could
think
just...
its opponent lose. No,
I think
I think
it
we're
says
double checking
choose.
now. It looks like
so that gets around ley line.
Yeah, I think it's any opponent may choose.
okay.
Um,
Probably worse in Commander than it is in Modern. Like, yeah, I'll take the 4. Oh, maybe it's different actually because you're like trying to convince other people to pay the 4. Now we've seen a couple of cards come off the top of Wufeng's library, but I think this Eidolon will do really well for him. It seems that there's not a whole lot of cards in your deck that aren't less than 2 mana, so
there are 6. There are 6 cards.
hell yeah.
Yeah.
Play around it. No
Yeah.
worries.
So this is the way that he's going to get around the targeting, I think. And I mean, it's unfortunate though because yes, the strength in your deck is putting down multiple permanents, multiple permanents, and you're just not going to be hugely happy about that. And we did see a Smash the Smithereens being taken out of that hand, which is really good.
Taking 6 to do that on that turn, though.
Oof.
I think playing Codex Shredder and Inquisition of Kozilek into the Eidolon is fine, just because you know like how much targeted burn there is in these kinds of decks. So you're more than happy to just like land some crucial pieces, get rid of any problematic cards. Because I believe I saw an Ensnaring Bridge in your hand, so
Yes.
I think you're fine. Like you're happy to take a few points of damage just to like wipe away any possible reach arounds.
Yeah. I think we're just going to try and... you put the Ensnaring Bridge on the bottom because you've got one in your hand.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's probably a great idea to try and... I mean, as with most of the matchups that you have, just try and get the cards out of your hand as quickly as possible so that we can turn on the Ensnaring Bridge. But, like, it's going to be a hard road to get there, I think. We're putting we're putting the Ensnaring Bridge down.
I'm pretty sure that was a second Ensnaring Bridge in my hand.
Yeah, well, that's probably why you put the one of the Ensnaring Bridges in the graveyard. Apologies to our viewers, there's quite the glare on the one side of the thing, but we definitely have an Ensnaring Bridge in hand,
Yep.
which, I mean, we're going to put it there anyway, but it's not great for these Monastery Mentors, especially... I mean, the Sorcery Speed Lava Spike is a bit awful because you can swing in with the Mentors. If you have instant speed, Lightning Bolts or whatever, you can deal a little bit more damage with those Mentors after you've declared attackers. But fortunately for you, Wufeng has a bunch of burn spells. It seems weird that he's holding them. Oh, he's got Leyline of Sanctity,
Yeah.
obviously. Okay. I was thinking, why is he holding them? We may as well just take the 2 from the Eidolon, but no, that's why.
I tried to kill myself there by playing the Ensnaring Bridge into the Eidolon.
Oh, no. Yeah, that's such a shame. You see you like rubbing your head being like, oh, I only need to get rid of this thing out of my hand to like stop myself from losing the game. And with yourself with 0 cards in hand and 0 cards in hand and a ley line, you're probably fine for a while. You know, you've got him locked with the Codex Shredders. You possibly could have won that game. It's unfortunate that Inquisition was not a Thoughtseize. You
Yes.
possibly could have taken it out of your own hand. But look, here we are.
I think I've leant back and gone, oh, I'm dead.
Yeah, yeah. It's definitely possible to like keep looking at your lines and see what you get, but like, it's just unfortunate that. Do you usually have trouble with like very fast decks? Because that seems to be the main problem is that you can't like get, because it takes you a couple of turns to get set up.
Yeah.
So those hyper aggressive decks can be bad for you.
Yeah, anything that can throw 3 damage and then throw a creature at you as well is very scary
Yeah, absolutely.
and hard to maintain. Yeah.
Well, I think it was probably no surprise to Lantern aficionados when they clicked on this video that it was only 14 minutes long, and they probably found out who won in the end out of Burn. But
I'm sorry.
no, you fought valiantly, and it's the extra Ensnaring Bridge that did you in. But Yeah, look, great job from Wufeng. We see the Harsh Mentors coming in and they're smashed to smithereens, and we see the Spell Scouts coming in from you, as you mentioned before. Spell Scout, very good card.
Yes.
I think it'd be this is where it should live, you know.
Yeah.
But yeah, we're taking out those Thought Seizers as well.
One
Paying 2 life to take a 3 damage card out of his hand is not that great.
One thing that piques my interest is that Nature's Claim in your side. Did it maybe pass your thought to bring it in just as like a 4 gain 4 life? Just, I know it's kind of like bad in the face of not Eidolon, but just being able to instant speed gain 4 life, get rid of some like null and void artifact that you might have around.
That is a thought that has never crossed my mind.
There you go. Always learning new things. I think also you can use it to kill Eidolon.
Yeah,
so
that's also
that also does the thing.
Yep.
Thank you so much for watching. Please, as usual, like and subscribe. And if you want to see any more Legacy or Modern action, please stay tuned. Thanks, guys.